All right, this is going to be a quick review of a video by Sir Ken Robinson, Do Schools Kill Creativity? An editorial on Sir Ken Robinson, Do Schools Kill Creativity? And this is one of the TED movies on YouTube, and that I really like the TED channel and some of their talks. This one has received over 5 million hits on it and 48,000 positive thumbs up, 48,153. So it's got some good reviews on it and some good positive things on it. Again, it's Sir Ken Robinson, Do Schools Kill Creativity? And as you can see, it's been pretty popular. The TED Talks are incredible. I mean, they've got over 1,500 videos. Anyhow, let's look at some of the things here that Ken Robinson talks about. Sir Ken Robinson. We'll edit this and then go from there. They really get into this, and you can subscribe to the TED channel. Just go into YouTube and subscribe to some great videos. So I do recommend that for sure. Now, I'm no expert like this man is, but it's obviously that our education system in the United States is failing a lot of people. Now, there's some good things too, but the question is, could we really improve on our creativity? Could we really improve on our education? I think most people would say we can. The battle is over how. Again, I'm no expert. This is just my comment. I don't have a PhD in education, and I haven't made remarkable changes in the education system. But I do know that creativity is key to doing things that we don't commonly do with our classes and groups in education. Not enough, anyhow. Ideas Worth Spreading, TED. Pretty interesting group, to say the least. And BMW does support them and is a sponsor to a lot of the things that they do. There are other sponsors, but I think BMW really likes what they're doing. And that corporate sponsorship has probably helped them do a great deal, more than they could just do on their own and their subscriptions.
Good morning. How are you? It's been great, hasn't it? I've been blown away by the whole thing. In fact, I'm leaving.
Now, this is in February 2006 in Monterey, California, as it shows on the screen here. And this is Sir Ken Robinson. It got quite a sense of humor. I think some things are really overlooked in his talk, but got a good sense of humor. You know, you have to have humor to help get past some of the really heated debates in education.
There have been three themes, haven't there, running through the conference, which are relevant to what I want to talk about. One is the extraordinary evidence of human creativity in all of the presentations that we've had and in all the people here.
Now, creativity shouldn't just be channeled in education or in arts or media. It should be in engineering, it should be in sciences, even disciplines that we commonly don't think education or creativity applies. But inspiration, revelation, he doesn't talk about those things, but they're part of the discovery process. Creativity, inspiration, revelation. Now that's my spin on it. We're going to go on here a little further, but we'll go into some of the things that he talks about.
And my contention is all kids have tremendous talents, and we squander them pretty ruthlessly.
Now that is pretty true. We have a great deal of talents and creativity, and are we squandering them, as he said? I think the answer to that is yes. The question still remains, how do we develop these things and channel these talents so we're not just a Wild West show doing crazy and impossible things without some discipline? You need discipline with creativity, but you need to loosen that up to get more. The thing is to get a balance, to have creativity really functional and active in your life, and have the inspiration and revelation also. But again, in my understanding, 40 years of religious understanding, without discipline and obedience, real revelation doesn't come. And revelation can open you up to things and ideas which creativity can't. And if you combine both, the discipline of righteous living and creativity, ask the right questions, get the revelation from those things, and then act on those things, and let your creativity go, I think you can do more than we've ever dreamed about. Let's continue here.
By the time they get to be adults, most kids have lost that capacity. They have become frightened of being wrong. And we run our companies this, by the way. We stigmatize mistakes.
Now that is a great understatement. I work for Walmart and I work for other corporations, not just Walmart. We focus on mistakes and we punish people for the mistakes, and we drive people away because they make mistakes. We don't encourage creativity. We don't encourage individuality. We compartmentalize people and programs and greatly reduce the creativity and the power to really excel in many areas. We want everybody to be their own little individual robot, going after and following the great commands of the corporation. What a shame and what a waste.
When you move to America and when you travel around the world, every education system on earth has the same hierarchy of subjects. Everyone, doesn't matter where you go. You think it would be otherwise, but it isn't. At the top are mathematics and languages, then the humanities, and at the bottom are the arts, everywhere on earth. And
now that's interesting, isn't it? The arts where the creativity is really pushed is on the bottom. Mathematics and languages are on top. Communication skills are important. Mathematics skills are important. I'm sure engineering is important. But there needs to be a better mixture of creativity, revelation, and discipline if we're really going to move ahead accordingly. Again, watch this in its entirety. Sir Ken Robinson, I really like his comments and the things that he talks about
it. Now, our education system is predicated on the idea of academic ability. And there's a reason. The whole system was invented around the world. There were no public systems of education really before the 19th century.
No public education systems really around the world before the 19th century. Isn't that interesting? And it's by leaders that this is done. We're going to go up here a little further.
So, by the way, there's a shaft of nerves that joins the two halves of the brain called the corpus callosum. It's thicker in women. Following on from Helen yesterday, I think this is probably why women are better at multitasking. Because you are. Aren't you? There's a raft of research, but I know it from my personal life. If my wife is cooking a meal at home, which is not...
Now, women are better at multitasking than men. There's no two ways about it. And maybe there's some physiology reasons for that. Again, watch this in its entirety. I'm not going to go through all the things because, frankly, there's too much and you'll get bored to death. But he does have quite a sense of humor, and he does talk about some important points.
So she said, wait here, we'll be back, we won't be very long, and they went and left her. But as they went out the room, he turned on the radio that was sitting on his desk. And when they got out...
Now let me back up here. I'm going to back up and I'm going to edit this. This is about a gal that was highly talented in dance, but we forget about how they discovered it.
Let's say she had ADHD. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, she had ADHD. They thought she was not talented. But this guy was smart enough to find out she had some other interests.
She's wonderful. I used to be on the board of the Royal Ballet in England, as you can see. And anyway, Jill and I had lunch one day. I said, how'd you get to be a dancer? And she said...
Now, this is a great gal that had created Cats and other great plays and other things, and she's going to tell her story of how she got on there and what happened. We'll talk a little more about this, but we'll listen to him, Sir Ken Robinson, about how she was discovered.
It was interesting. When she was at school, she was really hopeless. And the school in the 30s wrote to her parents and said, "We think Gillian has a learning disorder." She couldn't concentrate. She was fidgeting. I think now they'd say she had ADHD. Wouldn't you? But this was the 1930s, and ADHD hadn't been invented, at this point, so it wasn't an available condition. People weren't aware they could have that. Anyway, she went to see this specialist. So this oak-panelled room, and she was there with her mother, and she was led and sat on this chair at the end, and she sat on her hands for 20 minutes while this man talked to her mother about all the problems Gillian was having at school. And at the end of it, because she was disturbing people, her homework was always late and so on, little kid of 8, in the end, the doctor went and sat next to Gillian and said, "Gillian..."
A little kid at 8. Some of this stuff is hardwired into our creativity and our abilities, even at a young age. Not always, but many times.
"And I've listened to all these things that your mother's told me. I need to speak to her privately." So he said, "Wait here, we'll be back. We won't be very long." And they went and left her. But as they went out the room, he turned on the radio that was sitting on his desk. And when they got out the room, he said to her mother, "Just stand and watch her." And the minute they left the room, she said she was on her feet, moving to the music. And they watched for a few minutes, and he turned to her mother, and he said, "Mrs. Lynn, Gillian isn't sick. She's a dancer. Take her to a dance school." I said, "What happened?" He said, "She did. I can't tell you how wonderful it was. We walked in this room, and it was full of people like me. People who couldn't sit still. People who had to move to think. Who had to move to think."
Who had to move to think, and he repeats that. See, creative people associate and function differently than just logical people. We're talking about the differences of right and left hemispheres of your brain. Talking about associations. Now, I'm more logical than I am creativity, but I have a little bit of creativity and a lot more logic, but I have both. People that are extremely creativity may not be so logical and so mathematical. Often they aren't. Some people have both. We need to develop people's abilities and talents according to their gifts and abilities, according to what they already have in them, and bring it out as we teach. We have a long way to go in that area. A lot of it is being done and pioneered in private education, some in public, but not very much. And a lot of it's in private education and costly education. So they got her to dancing school, and she changed the world because of it. But that educated man knew that she had other gifts and abilities, and he was fortunate enough to turn on the radio and watch her reaction to it.
They did ballet, they did tap, they did jazz, they did modern, they did contemporary. She was eventually auditioned for the Royal Ballet School. She became a soloist. She had a wonderful career at the Royal Ballet. She eventually graduated from the Royal Ballet School, found her own company, the Gillian Dance Company, met Andrew Lloyd Webber. She's been responsible for some of the most successful musical theatre productions in history. She's given pleasure to millions, and she's a multi-millionaire. Somebody else might have put her on medication and told her to calm down.
See, how ignorant are we? How presumptuous are we? Here she was fully released into her talents and abilities and has become a multi-millionaire because of right counseling and direction at an early age. Other people may have put her on drugs and told her to calm down and wrecked her life and career. So watch this video, Sir Ken Robinson, Do Schools Kill Creativity? Again, Sir Ken Robinson, Do Schools Kill Creativity? It's been watched and viewed over 5 million times since 2006. Very, very. We're going to leave it there at that, and we're going to edit it and go from there. It's one of my favorite talks on creativity. Now, there are others, but this is one of the best. Again, this is Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Take a look at this video. Make it a great day. Bye.